So are we actually going to do this? Yeah, we are. Let's go. All right, let's talk about something I know you felt, even if you've never maybe said it out loud, or maybe you haven't been able to put words to it, or maybe you're in this moment right now and you're just hoping somebody might say it to make you feel validated in where you are at this moment. And that is the pressure to always be crushing it in business. There is a very unrealistic pressure sometimes that comes from the online space because our feed is filled with coaches and industry leaders and gurus who are telling you make 10K months, make 100K months, scale to $1 million, do this in 30 days, change your life in seconds. Basically, that feeling of if you are not scaling, if you are not making sales, if you're not fully booked out, if you're not on your way to 100K month, there must be something wrong with you. You're not good enough. Or maybe you have had a lot of success and you saw a downward trend this summer, or maybe things shifted, or it's a different season, or things are not working the same because the algorithm changed, or something that used to be working is no longer working. Specifically, thinking of some of my blogging clients who were making thousands of dollars in their ad revenue. And then Google, over the last few months and years, here now, almost a year and a half, had changed their algorithms. And so what used to rank high in SEO and get a lot of traffic is now suddenly cut in half, sometimes even two-thirds of their income instantly gone. And it is so devastating sometimes in business to see these like drastic shifts or maybe subtle shifts where you're not seeing the same impact. And also, like, it's not just in the outside of what's coming in, but even in our energy levels and how we're feeling about the business and how we're showing up and coming into a season of maybe feeling like I'm tired or not as on fire as I used to be, or I just can't maintain this pace. Something has to give sometimes. And so I wanted to kind of talk about that there is seasons in our business and to expect them, and that there's nothing wrong with them, because there is that false narrative that comes up with the feed being all this like aggressive, positive, scaling industry. All those things are just so frustrating and exhausting to be constantly in. So if you have felt that, and or maybe you're in that space right now, and I noticed a lot of entrepreneurs right now um, going into August, where like summer has caught up with us. We're feeling a little bit of this, this is like not great. I don't love this. This is just, I'm feeling it. And that's also like, I'm just being very honest. I've had several of those moments where I'm just like, oh my gosh, is there something wrong with me? Why is this not working? Why am I not, what's wrong with me? Why can't I show up for myself? And we start to beat ourselves up internally. And I don't want you to do that. I really want you to adopt a new truth. And that is that business has seasons, just like nature, in our bodies, especially us as women, we have seasons and rhythms. So why do we expect our business to be an endless summer of harvest and growth? Why do we expect that it should always be trending upwards and there's never plateau moments or downwards? Even the stock market, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up again, it goes down, it spikes, it plateaus. Like, that is realistic. That is real life. And we put this like unreasonable pressure on ourselves sometimes, that if it's not always harvest time, if we're not always growing, if we're not always bringing in new business, then something is wrong. So, like, let's just break down the business seasons that I see as a regular pattern, no matter what industry you're in, whether it's online based, service based, brick and mortar. There is going to be some of these seasons that you're going to experience, and the length of them is very different for each person. And it's just whether or not how we respond to those seasons, I think that will keep us stuck in one or the other. So let's talk through what those are. First one, let's just like call it spring. That is your planting, experimenting, you're building your visibility, you're getting things ready for growth. That is your spring season. So maybe you're like new in your business, or maybe you're creating a new offer and you're just like, I'm trying something new. I'm planting these seeds. I am trying to build something here. I am testing out what will work for me, all these things. And that is a spring season for you. And it's necessary in business that we have those seasons of planting, experimenting, building, and creating visibility for ourselves. That is really important to do. And then the summer is where you're really like growing and you're getting that visibility. You're seeing those results. You're seeing the engagement. You're launching your thing. You're opening the doors. You're saying, I'm ready for business, or I'm ready to fill this room. And that's a very exciting place to be, is in launch mode or in growth, and seeing like that results starting to happen and that momentum building. That is super fun. And then we have the fall, which is that big harvest moment where it's just like hand over fist. The tomatoes are coming in, and you're like, how in the world am I going to even, what am I going to do with all these tomatoes and the zucchini that are coming in, kind of thing. If you've ever had a garden, you know what that's like, where you're just like, who wants some of this? Because it's too much just for us. And that is a really fun place to be in business, and it's really exciting. And you get that big adrenaline hit, and you see the revenue like spike, and you start reaping those results, and it feels really good. And then there's the winter, which is that rest, recalibration, pruning, stillness, and preparation. And that is a lot more of a quieter season, where maybe you're not hand over fist bringing things in. There still might be some leftover harvest coming in, but it's more of like a slower pace. It is more intentional. It's recalibrating. It's taking out the dead weeds. It's getting things to be kind of in a quiet place to get ready for the planting season again. And, and just a reminder, like, this is natural. This is also necessary. And then the good news is none of these seasons are permanent. One of the hardest things for me sometimes when I transition to a different season, because oftentimes it's not of my own choice. It is literally the universe forcing it onto me. Because I would love to be in harvest mode all the time, guys. Like all of us as business owners, we just want to be getting results constantly. We want that momentum to be not stopping. We want to just build, 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 build. But it is necessary to shift into different seasons in your business, but also to remember it is not permanent. Because my initial reaction when I notice finally that I'm going into a different season is to like freak out and be like, oh no, I live here now. This is my permanent status. If like somebody doesn't renew or I get a lot of no's, like, oh no, this is it. And like that's my inner voice. It just wants to rear its head. And just being very vulnerable with you guys is like, that is something, doesn't matter whether I was making multiple six figures in my business or making my first a couple $1,000s in the business. It still feels the same exact stress. And like, oh, and now I'm stuck here and I'm never going to be able to do this. And this is going to, it just gets so devastating and frustrating. And it can really be debilitating within your business. So the reason I'm doing this episode is because I want you to know, one, you're not alone. This is totally normal. If you're in a different season, maybe you're in your harvest season and you're like hand over fist, this is amazing. That's awesome. Enjoy this season. But also know there's going to come a shift where it's not quite the same, and you're going to need some rest and recalibration and pruning, preparation, and getting ready for that next. You maybe are in your planting phase and you're like, hey, I wish I could be harvesting right now, but you got to put those seeds in. You got to take that time as well. So, what season are you in right now? And I want you to let go of that false narrative that can keep us stuck, because when we transition to a season of time that we weren't either A, expecting, or B, don't like, because, that validation of, oh, I'm making sales, I'm winning, that feels really good. That's a high. So when it goes away, we can be left feeling a little bit down and exhausted, or feeling like that internal narrative can turn on, really selling you that lie that if you're not in that growth mode, you're failing. And growth doesn't always look like sales. And I know that's hard to sometimes, like, well, okay, great, Lani, but I need the money. I totally get that. But you have to be okay with moving and pivoting within those seasons and accepting it. And we're going to talk about that. So I want you to just remember that the toxic hustle culture myths are: you should be making 10K months on repeat. If you're not booked out, you're irrelevant. Low energy or slow sales means something is wrong with you. And the truth is, like, I hit my first 10K month, guys, a few years ago. And then the next month, I was at 4K again. And did that mean something was wrong with me? No, it just mean I hit a great thing, but it wasn't sustainable yet. And then I realized, okay, this is what I need in order to keep 10Ks months on repeat. All right, cool. Now how do I get to that next level? What does that look like? I hit a big month and I didn't sustain it. And that's okay, because then I had to learn and adjust. Like, what does that need for me to be able to sustain that? And you don't just automatically shift to this new level and keep it there. It's like when somebody gets one viral video, it doesn't mean all of your videos are forever more going to be viral. You might have one spike. Okay, how do I repeat that? And now I have to think about it. What happened to get to this point? What do I need to be able to sustain it? And you need to remind yourself that you are not behind. You're not behind anybody. You're not broken. And you're not less worthy if you're in a slow or a quiet season or a transition season. So I want you to recognize the season. What season are you in? How do you feel about the season are you in? Are you on that high harvest season? Are you in the summer of, like, I'm got this, I'm growing, I'm pouring in, I'm seeing it start to bring results? Or are you in a spring season where you're like, hey, I'm adjusting, I'm planting seeds, I know where I'm going, I'm about to go, like, I know what's gonna come, but I need to do some planting. Or maybe you're in the winter where you're like, hey, I need to kind of shift things around. I need to restore my energy. I need to be a little bit more quieter. So, first is recognize, what season are you in your business? How does it feel in your body, your mind, your actual business results? What is it happening there? And, like, asking myself, am I tired and pushing harder? Are my results slowing down despite my consistent effort? And what do I need to do? Like, just noticing what is happening here. Then the second step is to really accept what is happening in this season. This is the hardest part for me, honestly, because I'm just like, well, I don't accept this. I need more, or I want to keep growing, or I want to sustain at this level. And it ends up feeling really like a lot of guilt, business guilt, because I'm like, I don't want to be here, or I don't want this. And then I start pushing, and it's just gets into this cycle of uh, push instead of allow. And that is not good. So, do I need to give myself permission to rest or reimagine? Because I'm not falling behind. I'm being called to align and go deeper into alignment. That is the reframe that you're going to need to do next, is to ask, like, what is this season offering me, and what clarity, rest, or preparation is needed here? It is a gift to have a slow season, to rest, to prepare, to gain clarity so that you can go again. Because nobody, not even athletes, goes nonstop. You know, my boys are in football, and we're a football obsessed family here. Um, they have seasons. They don't play year round. They have to have seasons of rest, and then they do preparation and muscle building and strength and conditioning, and then there's actual season of games happen. They go through that, they have a winning season, and then they rest again. And that is important for their bodies and for their, their winning potential, to have that season. So, how can we reframe this to say this is actually an opportunity to restore rather than force? This is me saying, I'm going to focus on the restoration. I'm going to focus on enjoying this season instead of forcing it. And then also preparing for what's next. Can you sit down and think, okay, am I journaling, planning, brainstorming? But don't rush it. And take a step back and say, how can I be in sync with the season instead of pushing or resisting it? Start planting the seeds again when it feels aligned. Look at your offer, your energy, your audience, and ask, where can life be breathed back in? One of the best things I've ever done in my business over the years is when I choose to take a pause and rest, reimagine, and ask these questions to prepare for what's next. This season is not here to punish you, it's here to prepare you. So the moment you feel the shift, the slowdown, the nose, the exhaustion, it's not a problem to fix. It's an invitation to pause. So can you give yourself this permission to say, oh, it's not a problem. It's an invitation. Whew. And that is so much better of a place to work from and to build from and to grow from than frustration and exhaustion and pushing and irritation and all of those emotions that come up in our business when things are not going the way we want. So I want to wrap up and just give you this encouragement. This whole episode is meant to encourage you to say you are not stuck. You are not behind. You are in a moment that is a part of your momentum of growth. When you build a sustainable business, there are going to be seasons where you grow, you plateau, you shift, adjust, and then you spike and grow again. That is important. It doesn't mean we're always producing, it means we're always evolving and we're learning and we're growing. And who I was in my business 5 years ago when my coaching business really started taking off is not the same person that I am today. And it needs different rhythms for me. It needs different levels of attention. And that is what is very important to give yourself permission to do so that you could be honest with yourself about what season you're in. And you can start to even tell your audience and use this as an opportunity to build connection and relatability, um, sharing these vulnerable moments. I have really found connection with a couple of online coaches and mentors where they have been honest about the seasons that they're in and the vulnerability that they're feeling. And I'm so grateful that they shared that because it means to me like, hey, I'm not alone. So if this episode makes you feel like, oh, okay, I'm okay. I'm not alone. This is normal. What do I need to do? And be inspired by that. That is a win for me because I needed somebody to do the same for me. And so I really wanted to do this episode to see if you're one of those that are in that season right now of like, I don't want to be in this season. I want to be in the harvest season. Um, you're okay. You don't have to like again, don't force it. Don't be pushing against it. Acknowledge it, accept it, use this season, and then go grow again. And if you need support, get it because you don't have to navigate it alone. If you don't know how to, if you're like, hey, I've been stuck in this season for way too long, and I feel like I do live here now, and I want to get out of it, then you might need somebody who come to come in and see it from a different angle, to come in and see hey, here's a way we can breathe new life into this. This is a different viewpoint. This is a different way we can get this in. That is 100% an option for you to be able to send in that shift to say, I don't have to stay here if I get support. And sometimes that's all it takes. And I love being able to be a part of that option for my clients where they come to me and they're like, I'm burnt out. I'm like, awesome. That's amazing. Let's figure out what to do to pivot and let's find a new way to show up. What's important to you? How do we get quiet? How do we find rest? But still keep things sustainable because I do understand we still have to make money. We still have to pay the bills. 100%, but can we show up in a way that feels really good in this moment that we're in? So here's what I want you to do. If you are in a season right now and you feel like, hey, Lani, I want to talk about it. I want to tell you what season I'm in, or you don't know, and you're like, am I in a season that I need to rest, or am I just need to pivot? I want to I feel stuck here. Send me a DM. Let's just talk about where you're at. If you are needing the support, you want somebody else to come in and say, like, hey, how do I get out of this space? I feel like I've been stuck here way too long and I don't want to stay in the winter season. I'm ready for a harvest. I'm ready to plant seeds. I'm ready to see that summertime growth. Then I am opening up my calendar for the next few weeks for opportunities for us to talk. I have 2 one-on-one spots available right now that are open. I take a limited amount of one-on-one, and then of course Empowered for More, which is our community custom community coaching program. That is also open. That has multiple levels of support that you can choose from. Some of them do have one-on-one support built into it. But if you are interested in any of those, or you want to talk about what it would look like, please go book a call. Go to LaniJackson.com/let's talk. The link is in the show notes. Go book it. And it's like, again, it is a no pressure call for us to talk about what does it look like for you to step into alignment to build that sustainable business that no matter what season you're in, you know, hey, I'm in growth mode. Even when I'm in rest mode, I'm in growth mode when I'm planting. I'm in growth mode when I'm harvesting. I am sustaining this and I understand my business ebbs and flows, what I want to have happen. Or if I felt stuck, I know exactly how to get out of it again. And if you haven't yet prepared for the next season that you're going to be entering into, that is also important to do because you will be in a different season in multiple times throughout the year and throughout your cycle of your business, and being prepared and accepting it and getting ready for it is so important. So go book a call. Let's talk. And again, you're not behind. This is a moment. This is a pause, not a permanent. Go out, do what you need to do, accept your season, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks for actually joining us today. I hope it inspired you to actually take the action to step into the empowered CEO that you are and getting more of the results that you want. Before you go, I have a quick favor. Leave us a review and take a screenshot of this episode and share it with your friends and on your favorite social media channels. Don't forget to tag us, actually.the podcast and Lani J. Jackson. And we'll see you next week on another episode.